All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're breaking down The Psychology of Money, a book with a really powerful argument. Getting good with money isn't really about how smart you are, it's about how you behave. So, let's get into it. Okay, let's kick things off with the book's core idea. No one is crazy. Seriously, the financial decisions we make, even the ones that look completely bizarre to someone else, they make perfect sense to us. And that's because they're all filtered through our own unique personal experiences. And why is that? Well, think about it. The things you've personally seen and lived through are just an infinitesimally small sliver of everything that's ever happened in the world. But that tiny sliver, it makes up almost your entire worldview. It's a huge reminder that we're all playing a different game, with different rules that our own past has written for us. And all of this leads to a really crucial point. Our relationship with money doesn't start on Wall Street or in a bank account. Nope, it starts right up here, in our own heads. You know, a huge piece of this whole mental puzzle is finally admitting just how big a role two invisible forces play: luck and risk. You can do everything right, make the perfect, well-researched decision, and still get wiped out by risk. Or you could be Bill Gates, who just happened to go to one of the only high schools on the planet with a computer. That's a massive boost from pure dumb luck. So once we start to get a handle on our own mental biases, it leads us to this really critical distinction we almost always get wrong: the difference between being rich and looking rich. See, being rich, that's about your current income. It's the stuff you can see, the fancy car, the big house, it's visible. But being wealthy, that is what you don't see. It's the money that wasn't spent. It's the assets that are quietly working for you in the background, building you freedom and options for the future. And honestly, this iceberg visual is the perfect way to think about it. We all see and admire the tip, the cars, the vacations, but real sustainable wealth is that massive, invisible base of savings and investments under the water. To put it really simply, wealth isn't the fancy car, it's the money you didn't spend on the fancy car. So if you want a really sharp way to define it, think of it like this. Wealth is what you create when you fight the urge to buy something you could afford today, all so you can have more security and more options tomorrow. It's a constant tug of war between your income and your ego. Okay, so if wealth is what you don't spend, how in the world do you actually build it? Well, the answer isn't about some secret trick or chasing crazy high returns. It's about something much simpler and, honestly, much more powerful. I mean, just take a look at Warren Buffett's journey here. The overwhelming majority of his fortune was earned well after his 60th birthday. The secret ingredient wasn't just being a genius investor. It was the mind-bending power of compounding, working its magic over many, many decades. His greatest skill, really, was just patience. And look, the numbers totally back this up. Trying to make money in the stock market on any given day, it's basically a coin flip. But the longer your timeline, the longer you stay invested, the more the odds shift in your favor until they're pretty much a certainty. Time is the ultimate advantage. But, and this is a big but, getting those amazing long-term returns isn't free. There is a price you absolutely have to pay. And it's not a commission, it's not a management fee, it's something else entirely. We all feel it, but we hardly ever think of it as the price of doing business. So what is this hidden fee for earning those market returns? Okay, so here it is. The fee is volatility. It's that gut-wrenching stress, that fear, that uncertainty you feel when the market tanks. The key is to completely reframe that feeling. It's not a fine you get for doing something wrong. It's the price on the ticket. You have to pay that price to get into the theater and see the show. And trust me, that fee, that punch in the face, it's going to show up when you least expect it. That's why a good financial plan isn't just about growth, it's about survival. It needs a strong defense, like a good old emergency fund with 6 to 12 months of expenses, so you're never forced to sell at the absolute worst time. Which really brings us to maybe the most important question of all. Why bother with any of this? Why go through the stress and the saving? What's the real point of building wealth in the first place? You see, the real prize here isn't more stuff, is not a faster car or a bigger house. The true value of money is the freedom to wake up in the morning and say, I can do whatever I want with my day today. It's about owning your own time. Just think about it. You can absolutely love what you do for work, but hate having zero control over your schedule. You can love the projects, but not be able to stand your boss. Having that cushion of wealth, that's what gives you the ability to make choices. And that control over your own life, that is the highest return money can ever give you. So, if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's this. The greatest dividend money pays isn't financial, it's autonomy. It's the freedom to live your life on your own terms. That is the real endgame. That's the ultimate measure of wealth. And so that leaves us with one final thought, a question for you to really think about, which is kind of the whole point of this journey. If you had enough money, truly enough, what would you do differently with your time? Answering that question for yourself is the first real step to understanding what money is actually for.